Hey guys, it's Jason or Stealthy SK, and today I'm going to be going over how to use the gas arrow leveling setup, but on a monk. This is going to be one of the fastest options for you to get through the axe as quick as possible. To start off, this will be for only for alt characters, or if you have a friend to be able to give you some gear and some skill gems, you could also go that route. You could level without it, but I'm not going to be going over that in this video. So I got all the footage for this already, I just have to commentate over it, so I'm going to be going over my media player as he does the stuff he needs to do. So starting out here, this is just going to go over my setup. We're going to start with the lightning arrow, we're going to get martial tempo, lightning arrow, martial tempo, and scatter shot. The reason we go lightning arrow is because it is, you can use it at level 1, and we can't swap to gas arrow until level 22 because it requires a level 7 skill gem. To quick go over the gear we're going to get, we're going to start with getting a bow. This bow you can use at level 1, so you can use it anytime. So you start by looking for one with a high increased bonus chances gained from equipped cover, which I have at 204%. I would definitely recommend trying to get above 200%, but I also have the lightning damage, which helps early on. The rest of the gear is going to be all pretty generic. You're using the suede bracers, we're going to be using the rawhide belt, the straw sandals, the quilted vest for the extra movement speed, some stat sticking amulets and rings. You can't use these till level 10, 12, and 8, but you will be able to use them early on. At level 10 you could swap to your quiver. If you find a quiver on the way to level 10, definitely pick that up to make this bow actually, worthwhile. We don't have a level starting helmet, but it's going to end up being the lace hood, and I'll explain that a little bit later on in the video. I'll be going over every skill swap at what level you want to skill swap as you level up and get to level 22 for the final gas arrow swap. Starting off, you're not going to be able to use gas arrow because it requires a level 7 skill gem, so you have to be at least level 22 to swap. So we're going to be starting off with the lightning arrow. You're going to put on scatter shot and martial tempo. I like to keep my stuff organized, so I have it all in my inventory for when I want to level up. I showed you the gear already. I will be making a link so you can just go straight up and buy it from the auction house if you wanted to, but you don't have to, obviously. I recommend you get everything set up before you start leveling, just so you save time. I got all the skill gems and the support gems already made, so when I go to do those quick swaps like this whole gas arrow swap, I'll be able just to put the gems on and go and start leveling again. So I recorded a little bit of gameplay. This is the first map I'm going through as lightning arrow, and you can see already we're one-shotting. This is gonna super speed up getting through the beginning act, because usually it takes 2 to 3 hits to be able to kill these guys. I'm gonna show a little more just so you guys can see. So it chains them and kills them all. Sometimes it's not a one shot, but most of the time it will be. And like I said, if you find a quiver on the ground, pick it up. If you find a helmet, pick it up. The stuff you don't have equipped in your gear. You'll very quickly reach level 3. Once you reach level 3, we can go and put our lightning rod on. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to swap over scatter shot to our lightning rod, and then we're going to put chain onto lightning arrow, making the clear better. Now what lightning rod is going to do for us is going to allow us to shock enemies, which will make our lightning arrow do more damage, and once we get our orb of storms, it'll be able to melt bosses. So this is just showing off the skill real quick. Now at this level, you're just going to lightning rod him, and then you can absolutely melt him as he's shocked, as you can see here. He goes down super fast. This boss would usually take, you know, a little bit of effort to kill, but it doesn't with this build, and it only gets faster. At level 4, you're able to move on to Orb of Storms. You're going to put on the Overabundant support, plus you're going to check your chain from your lightning arrow, and then move it down to the Orb of Storms. And here I'll give you a demonstration of how bosses go now that we have Orb of Storms. You're going to place 2 down for your setup, and then use Lightning Rod, and it just will absolutely delete every boss you run into. And this is pretty much how every boss is going to go until you get up to, you know, your gas arrow swap. Just to give another example of another boss, I'm just going to show you. I messed up the combo a little bit here, so it doesn't one-shot, but it does do a massive amount of damage. If I would have had a little bit more time, it would have killed him. Right now I'm just going to dodge the rocks and then finish him off. And that's the boss. At level 8, you'll be able to add your amulet, also your first ring, if you're in my case rather. You're going to want like level 10ish rings just because they have more stats. You're also going to swap to your good quiver, which is going to duplicate your damage by a very high amount. Also remember to be leveling up your gems as you're going. Just keep them at level. You just pick up the skill gems and then, yeah, just go through and grab your levels. At level 11, you're able to put on your next upgrade, which is your Wanderlust shoes. Mine are corrupted with 24 lightning res, just for extra defense, but you're just putting them on mainly for the 20% movement speed. So to show off that the damage doesn't fall off, even with 1 arrow, I can still go and one-shot almost every mob. So it's still just as quick. And I'm able to put on my next ring because I leveled up. So yeah, be able to get through the axe just as quick. Same links. These are my resistances, so nothing special. I'll show off the tree here soon. I forgot to mention to get Herald of Ash. So when you hit level 4, or rather when you kill the boss, the first boss that gives you your 30 spirit, you can add on Herald of Ash, and that'll make the enemies explode. So that'll also up your critter speed. Just to show off the damage a little bit more, this is going to be Candle Mass. And you can see we're still absolutely melting them. And we will be all the way till level 22. Now that you've leveled up to level 16, don't forget to equip your Lace Hood. This will automatically ignite the enemies around you, which will help you immensely once you get Gas Arrow, which I'll explain later on. Now that I'm level 22, I can go ahead and swap to my Gas Arrow setup. So we'll go over that real quick. So it's going to be Gas Arrow with Primal, Martial Tempo, and Scattershot. I do recommend getting the 3-link. If you can't afford it, just get the first 2. So Primal Armament and Martial Tempo. Next is Flammability. You'll only be using this on bosses. It does require a lot of int, but level 7 is the lowest we can go for this. And I'll show you how to fix that once we go on the tree. But it's going to have Heightened Curse and Focus Curse. For Herald of Ash, you want to keep it as low as possible, so level 4. Just because we don't need it to be a high level, we just need it to be able to be used. We can't use its supports, its herbalism, and precision, because they both require spirit. But once we kill the next boss and get our extra 30 spirit, we'll be able to slap that on there and then move on to the last one, which is Flame Wall. And this may or may not be necessary for you, depending on whether you have the Lace Hood or not. So for our tree, unfortunately we have to start on the monk side instead of the ranger side. And most of these are pretty useless for ranger. So we're going to path all the way down until we get to the ranger side. You're going to be putting intelligence on a lot of these and a little bit of strength, just so you're able to use the curse. You're going to come down here. Once you get projectile speed, you're going to shoot down to Vile Wounds, and then go back and go get Eagle Eye and Blur, and then move down a tree more. And this is where a lot of your damage comes from. So it's going to give you a quiver effect. And quiver effect just gives you bonuses from your quiver, obviously. So the better the quiver you have, the stronger you're going to be. Now this build is super easy to use. It's either a 2-button build or a 1-button build, depending on whether you have the Radiant Grief Lace Hood. What this does is ignite the enemies, so you don't have to. So without the hood, you'll do your poison arrow, and then you'll do flame wall to ignite the enemies, and they'll explode. You can do this either way, so you could have a flame wall already up, and then do your poison, but either way, it'll blow up the enemies and pretty much instant kill them. If you have the helmet, that skips one button. All you have to do is right click, it'll automatically ignite the enemy, instantly killing them. I'll show you what both looks like in maps. So now that when I'm at map that's close to our level, or at our level, I'll show you how fast the mobs die. You shoot your arrow, and then light them up, and then they all die. This is with only the flame wall. And again, it's only a 2-button build, so you just press it and explode. And pretty much everything's gonna die like this, even the harder enemies. Now I'll go ahead and show you what it's like with the helmet on. Since it's already ignited, the helmet's gonna immediately ignite them, killing them instantly. And this is pretty much how the rest of your act's gonna go until you finish them. Make sure to keep gas arrow at an appropriate level, and then you'll be able to absolutely annihilate all the enemies. Get through the acts as fast as possible. Now in terms of gearing, the rest of your gear is going to be, I would recommend upgrading at around level 40. So that's how I'll put this trade to. So when you go to buy your items from my trade link, it'll search for like max level 40 gear. Now with this build, there's really cool tech where you can use these cuffs at level 33, and these are going to give you a chance to freeze the enemy. We need it to not be at 100% fire damage converted, so when you go to buy these, it needs to be at 99% or less. 99 being the best, and as you go lower and lower, the worse it is. But I do recommend picking these up. These will absolutely incredibly speed up your progress. At 40, obviously, is going to be your biggest upgrades. You're able to get a new bow, because this one starts to become less and less effective as you level. A new quiver, some amulets and rings, obviously the gold clefs at level 33, some boots with movement speed, so you can get rid of these, because these will have extra stats on them. You don't have to upgrade them, you can use the Wanderlust the entire way through. But besides that, I'll go over how to import my link so you're able to get all the trades done, and then that'll be the end of the video. Now to start, you're going to add Better Path of Exile trading. This will allow me to import links, and you're able to one-click search the gear, so you don't have to do it yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and bookmark a folder. I'm going to save this, and I'll show you that you can register trades. So for our first trade, I'm going to have the Wanderlust wrap sandals. I have all the parameters set, so it can't mess up, because sometimes that corruption can give more levels required and errors like that can happen. So once I got it all set up, I can register current trade. It's going to be called, the wrap sandals, and save it. And then I'll do this for all the gear, and then I'll be able to export the file, and it'll be in the description and the comment section, and you'll be able to just search through that. If I get some time, I'll go ahead and make a online guide as well, so you'll be able to follow the tree the whole way through. I looked around, I didn't see any other people with already set up monk ranger twink. The reason for this video is actually for a specific friend, but it'll help anyone that's able to watch. I looked around, didn't see any monk leveling ranger twink, so I went ahead and made it myself. Now the higher you're willing to spend on the non-uniques, the better your character is going to be. So I'd recommend setting your max here and your min here. So like the first starting is going to be 2 exalted, but you can go all the way. If you press sum, it's going to search from the best bow, best quiver for our parameters, for the lowest price. Now when you go to buy your non-uniques, I would start by going and setting your max amount of exalted. Otherwise, sometimes it'll get to too high price, and you don't want that. So for your quiver, what I would do is I would click sum, which will sort it by the best bow, or best quiver in the entire list, and for the cheapest price. So say I wanted to get the best one, but 50 is too much. We can set it to 20, and then press sum again, and now 20. This is going to show the best quiver. So you can do that for all your non-uniques. I have all the desired stats set, so it'll give you the best options. Now when you're ready to go and use the add-on, you're going to copy and paste this message into import. So you can go import folder, and it's just going to copy all the links. And all you do is click on them, and then buy it from whoever the cheapest person is. Now with that being said, I have it all set up. If you guys enjoyed the video or got any info from the video, I would appreciate a like or even a subscription, because I do make guides quite often. I do get my inspiration from other people, but I do a lot of theory crafting myself. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Peace. One more thing, I went ahead and made the rest of the tree. This should be enough points for you to go ahead and finish your build before you go and swap over to your main build. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comments.